Hi everyone, this is Peter in Carson, McPhail with Lifestyle Properties of Maine. Thanks for joining us today. We are heading over to Washington County, the Sunrise County, we'll come back to that in a minute, to look at a Kingdom waterfront property, Kingdom parcel. It's 340 plus or minus acres with about 10,000 feet of frontage on Second Lake. Carson, tell me a little bit about that chain of lakes.
So Second Lake, the lake that the property has frontage on, that is a over 1,600 acre lake with your max depth of 25 feet. Now Second Lake connects into Gardner Lake, so that's what makes it the chain, and it's a huge chain of lakes. Gardner Lake is over 3,800 acres, and that one is going to have your max depth of about 56 feet. Fish species in both lakes is going to include salmon, brook trout, smallmouth bass, and your white and yellow perches, to name a few.
Yeah, so you have over 5,000 acres of water to enjoy. It's just to give it an idea how large that is. It takes in three different towns. You have East Machias, you have Whiting, and Marion.
Yep.
That the property, the lake encompasses. So yeah, it's a spectacular property we want to look at. Very rare. You won't find this in the state of Maine, this much acreage and frontage on a lake. And what I envision on this particular property is maybe you're looking to build your private log home off-grid, and then you want to leave some property to your kids and grandkids over time. This isn't something that you're going to run right out and subdivide just because it's located in an unorganized town, and it's a lot more difficult to do subdivisions in those. But over time, you certainly could set that up, leave a legacy for your children and your grandchildren.
No, it is a really beautiful property and an amazing opportunity for whoever ends up picking this up.
All right, trivia question for the day. Washington County, why do they call it Sunrise County? So, Carson, you want to put that, give us an idea why they call it Sunrise County?
I might know.
Okay.
It's because it's the easternmost county in the United States, isn't it?
Correct. And then we have an office at the most easternmost town of Lubec.
Yep.
And that's where the sun's going to rise first. Beautiful area, guys. Thanks for joining us today. So let's go for a ride over to Second Lake. All right, guys, we're turning off from Route 191 onto the access road into Second Lake. We're going to have, I think I measured about 3 miles or so of gravel road right away into the property. So as you can see, we've had a pretty good snowstorm here recently, first one of the season. So this is the right of way. All right, guys, so we've arrived on some of the road frontage, and we have about 2 miles of road frontage, both it's all gravel road frontage. So what I'm seeing here is mostly spruce and fir, but we're going to be turning right here up into the property to go up along the lakefront, so we'll be there shortly. So right now, folks, we are on this, what I call the southern half of the lot. We've drove the truck in here. Some of this brush here needs to be, just run a bush hog through, we'll clean this up, but we drove in no problem. And we're gonna cut down through the woods here and go out to the lakefront, give you an idea what it looks like. All right, so we have a lot of spruce and maple in here growing, some fir. All right, guys, we're almost down to the water now. Got a great big old birch tree here on the shoreline. Well, I'm not sure what we got for ice out here, guys. Plenty. Oh, yeah. Pretty spot. Super secluded for sure. So we've stepped out here on the lake frontage on the southern portion. Very pretty spot, super pretty spot. Big old pine trees and spruce trees along the shoreline up there. Look at them, very nice. All right, now that we've seen the lake frontage here on the southern end, we're gonna head up to the north end of the property so you guys can get a good look at that. Before we head up to the north end of the property, a very unique feature here is this property encompasses all of Hammond Pond. It's about a 10-acre pond, great place to watch birds and watch some ducks. Nice feature. So we've driven from the south section, we're up, just crossed back onto the north section of the property. So
So we do have a lot of spruce, coastal spruce here again. And then your maples predominantly seems to be in here. You got some pine scattered through it too, though. But we're going to drive up to the north end and show you some of the lake frontage up there as well.
So we're about 300 feet from the water right now, and a cool day trip that's close to this area, a place that I've been to personally, is Roosevelt Campobello International Park. It's one of the summer homes that the Roosevelts had. Originally, it was built by a different family in 1897, but that family liked the Roosevelts so much that they had a provision in their will for when they passed that the Roosevelts, specifically Sarah, Franklin Roosevelt's mother, had an opportunity to buy the property for $5,000. And that is I don't know the exact square footage, but that is a 34-room house on the ocean. So definitely can't even get a piece of land on the ocean for that price. And in addition to their house, there's about, if I remember correctly, there's 3 other historical cottages there that were built by wealthy, mostly a combination of people from Boston at the time and New York. So there's 3 of those there. They're all really cool looking buildings that now they utilize for certain things. And if the history stuff isn't something you're really big into, there's over 8 miles of trails in the park itself that go through the forest there and also mostly around the ocean. And it's some of the most beautiful trails I think we both have ever walked on. So it's just a great day trip. You need your passport, don't forget that, but just fantastic day trip.
Yeah, we just come to a really beautiful forest in here of hardwood, maple, and birch. Absolutely beautiful. Almost out to the waterfront. Gonna catch the sunset here on Second Lake.
So we're about halfway up the north section of the lot right here. And as you can see, it is about as tranquil and as beautiful as it gets. I mean, all you see is trees. I don't see any other camps, not saying that they're not there, but I mean, your view is just undisturbed wilderness. It's really something to take in and appreciate. So as we're continuing through the property, one more day trip that I wanted to mention is Quoddy Head State Park or Quoddy Head Lighthouse. And now the funny thing, and I noticed this as I was getting the facts for this, is when you're searching up Maine or Maine lighthouse, chances are this is the lighthouse that you're seeing on Google. It's, one of our staples. And the park itself is 541 acres with over 4.5 miles of coastal trails, just, perfect trails to take in the coastal view of the ocean. What's interesting is the original lighthouse that was there was built in 1808, and that was actually built on order by Thomas Jefferson. So that puts in perspective just how old the original one is. The current one standing, though, that was built in 1858, but it's definitely a place you want to check out.
Man, Carson, we've burned up about all the daylight we're going to have for today looking at this piece of property. What a beautiful property. The topography here, which is typical for most lake frontage, it's running 70 to 100 feet above sea level, so not a huge elevation change, but really unique piece of property. Behind us is a stream that kind of is flowing through the divide in the north and the south part. But how about some of the distances, Carson? Where are we from?
So distances here, just to name off a few, we're just under 6 hours away from Boston, around 2 away from Bangor, and the city of Ellsworth about an hour and 40 minutes away from here. And then Machias is 38 minutes.
Yeah, Machias, was one of our favorite towns. It is the county seat here in Washington County. It's got the University of Maine. Machias is there. And by the Passamaquoddy language, the name Machias stands for Bad Little Falls.
Yep.
So there's a set of falls there right in the center of the community, and it's a pretty spot.
It is. And it has one of our favorite restaurants, well, 2 of them, Helen's and soon to be, I believe, Mason's, which is a pub eatery that we have around Bangor that has really good burgers and pizza, is going to be there soon as well.
Helen's best pie in the county.
Best pie and some good home cooking with a twist, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So let's recap the property real quick. We have 340 acres with roughly 10,000 feet of lake frontage on Second Lake.
Yep.
And the asking price is $495. Hey, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, but we appreciate you joining us today and see you guys again real soon.